Hello everybody! Welcome to Convos with Carrie, Motivation Monday. There's Kiva, who's decided to join the conversation. My pain in the ass cat. I love her, but she's pesty. Such is the case with calicos, I hear. That's her tail. Okay, Kiva, you're just going to sit right there. Can you see your little head? Beep, 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 beep. Say hi, Kiva. Look. This way. Hi, everybody. That's Kiva. Welcome, everybody. Monday night, you know the drill. Convos with Carrie. Hey, Sarah, welcome. That's Kiva's tail again, right in front of the camera. She's a treat, that one. All right, you're going to do my regular little, hey, Leah Marie, welcome, welcome. Yeah, meow. Sarah, Kiva says meow. Meow to you, you little weirdo. All right, let me just get my thing up on my screen. No, I'm not saying dee. Okay, so I can see people's comments when they come. Welcome, Melissa. Thank you. Welcome. Super. Okay. All right, I've got so much to say tonight. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Oh, hold on. Hey, Pamela. Welcome. Just realized I forgot my lipstick. That's right. I'm using my camera. Not shy. There we go. I feel better. I hope you all feel better too. So welcome. Welcome to Monday Night with Carrie. Convos with Carrie. So we are going to talk about how to navigate inspiration overload, because there's so much good stuff out there. Like, how the heck do you navigate that? So we're going to talk about that. Hey, Tara, welcome. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how to indulge in all of the great stuff that's out there, inspiration-wise, while not feeling overwhelmed by it, and giving yourself permission to take what works, leave what doesn't, kind of thing. So we'll talk about that. Let's see. Oh my God, but first, because you peeps come to Facebook Live, I'm going to share this with you first. Okay, to be honest, I told Melissa first. And then I told my dad, in my mind, up in heaven. I told him, like, Dad, you're not going to believe this. So now I'm telling you guys. Hey, Mary, hello. So you guys know, or most of you know, that I have an ebook coming out with Hay House on August 15th. 15th? 17th? 15th. Thanks, Melissa. Coming out August 15th with Hay House. Well, I just found out that they are not only doing an ebook, they're doing a book, like a paperback book. I'm so excited. Oh my God, when I ever heard that, I was like, holy crap, I'm going to have a physical, actual book to hold in my hands. Jack just joined. Hey, Jack, you missed the announcement. I got to say it again, because now that you're on. I just found out from Hay House that they're not only doing an ebook for my clutter book, but they're also doing a paperback run. I know, Leah Marie, right? So I'm going to have an actual physical book in my hands that I can hold, that I can sign. Like, it's just so crazy. Like, I'm just so excited. So thank you, Tara. Thank you, everybody, for being so excited for me. I knew you'd all support me. I just love my Monday night peeps. So I know, I can't believe it. They sent me over. Oh, actually, no, I was doing some work over the weekend. And I don't know what made me do this, but I decided to jump on Amazon for shits and giggles and see if there was any placeholder or anything up there for me yet, because I thought it would be so cool to see, right? So I go on Amazon. Right, Sarah? You too. Okay, so you too. So I went on Amazon and I saw that it was listed up there as a paperback. And I was like, I wonder if that's just because it's like a placeholder. Maybe it's a mistake. I'm not going to get my hopes up. And so I emailed my editor and I'm like, hey, I'm just wondering, you know, is it going to be an ebook or is it going to be paperback? And she wrote me back and said, actually, it's going to be both. We decided to do ebook and paperback. So excited. So excited. So that's my first big announcement. Oh, you did say, so you started a while ago. So you knew way before me, sister. Because I just found out, like, well, it was confirmed this morning. So yes, so excited. So super excited for that. And then the other thing I'm super excited for is Registration has opened today for the Hay House World Summit, which I am a part of this year. Again, crazy. So the Hay House World Summit, for any of you who aren't familiar with it, it's this awesome event, this free online summit that Hay House puts on. I think it's like 16 days of free content, and I think there's 100 authors or experts or whatever they call us in the summit, and it's like I think it's about an hour-long conversation per author or expert. I had the pleasure of having my conversation with Nancy Levin, who's a fellow author and coach, and she's just fantastic. So the registration opened today. Melissa put a pinned comment at the top of the comments of this Facebook Live, and there's a link right there where you can register for it. Again, totally free to register, and really, like, to be totally honest, as a new Hay House author, I would love for them to see that I'm sending people to register. So that link, although you can't tell in the link, it is connected to my name. So they'll see how many people I send their way, and so I would really love it if you're at all interested in the summit. Hey, Mama! If you're at all interested in that summit, if you could register through that link, that would be awesome, because then they would see, like, hey, this girl's sending us some people. Cool. So that's the link in the pinned comments there. You can click there, and it really is so cool. Although my conversation is available on May 6th, that's the first day of the summit, but if you register before May 6th, you get immediate access to 4 really cool audios, one by Louise Hay, one by Wayne Dyer, Kyle Gray, and I'm forgetting the 4th person. There's a 4th one. That's equally as good. So you get... I'm sorry?
It'll be a surprise.
It'll be a surprise. That's right. Surprise! But you can listen to those right away, right upon registering, which is so cool. So go ahead and check that out. There's so many great conversations that happen in that summit. And it's really big this year. Like I said, there's 100 people. And when you register for it, not only do you get the audios of all 100 people, you get those bonus 4 videos right out of the gate. But then they're also showing, I think, 3 of their films, probably like Louise's You Can Heal Your Life, Wayne Dyer's movie. God, I should have these notes in front of me. It's like, I'm just so excited that I'm like forgetting things. Oh, The Shift. That's one of them. So there's just, oh my God, there's just so much you can get through registering. So go ahead and register should you be interested. Let's see, what else? I think those are all the announcements. If at all, I also mean to say this, that if at all you join and I don't say hi or welcome you, Facebook doesn't show me everyone who joins, so know that I'm not ignoring you and I'm not neglecting you. It's just that it didn't alert me to you joining. And also the final little housekeeping thing that I forgot at the top, which is if you're watching this outside of, say, Monday night, 7:30 to 8:15 or so Eastern Time, you're watching the replay, please go ahead and comment below, and I'll go back and check. But just know if I don't respond to your comments, it's because it's not live. So, that's the start of it. Okay, so before we dive into the topic, I want to ask each of you one quick little favor, and it takes 2 seconds. If you could list in the comments one thing that you're grateful for from today, I would love to kick it off that way. So just list anything in the comments. It can be one word, a sentence, whatever you want. What is one thing that you're grateful for from the day? Like, have it be specific to today. Let's get into that attitude of gratitude. So, let's see. Well, for me, I'm grateful that I found out my book is also going to be a paperback. So I'm super grateful for that. I'm grateful for all of you guys who come and join me on Monday nights. It means so much to me. So Tara's grateful for sleep. Yes. Mary's grateful for the weather. Nice. Yeah, it was a nice day today. Got some little bit of rain coming, so Melissa and I spent hours over at the tiny house covering it. Annie's on board. Hey, Annie. Welcome. Melissa is grateful that we got the tiny house covered before it starts raining. Me too. Leah Marie, I'm grateful for coming home and spending time with my husband and son after a long day at work. Love that. Love that. Annie, what are you grateful for? Type it in the comments. Life. Love that. Annie's grateful for life. Beautiful. Yes, I love this. See, it makes me feel so good to read your gratitude. So I have to believe it does the same for you to read each other's. and to think of your own. So, Sarah, I'm very grateful for a special event to attend. Cool. Awesome. Pamela got a walk-in after school. Pamela, you're kicking ass in school, right? Like I think, what degree are you working on now? I see your posts on Facebook and I'm like, man, that chick is rocking it. Trish is grateful my mom was released from the hospital today. Awesome. Great news, Trish. Laura is grateful for a super flexible job that I love doing. That is fantastic, Laura. Oh my gosh. Love that. Oh my god, it's just so beautiful to like stop and see what all there is to be grateful for. Kathy, grateful for opportunities to grow myself up. Yes. Love that. That makes me think of, which I imagine you might even be referring to, that great little book by John Lee. It's Lee, and it's called Grow Yourself Back Up. And it's just a quick little read about how to identify when your buttons are getting pushed and when maybe your little kid is running the show, and how to kind of grow yourself back up in that situation so you can take charge of it. Kathy, yes. Okay, great. That's what I thought you might be referring to. It's a great little book. Pamela, okay, master's in English, writing. Nice. Good for you. Oh, I love Salem. That's so sweet. Awesome. Thanks, guys, for sharing your gratitudes. I love that. And it ties in nicely to our topic for this Monday night. How to navigate inspiration overload. It's a good thing, right? So we're fortunate that there are so many resources out there these days at our fingertips. There's blogs, there's podcasts, there's television programs, inspirational movies. I mean, there's what are they called? Like I'll say companies because I can't think of the word, but companies who like dedicate their lives to inspirational material. Like I think of or like educational material like FMTV, which is Food Matters TV. It's a website, but they run films about just educating yourself around where your food comes from and that kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, there's so much out there. There's great documentaries on Netflix that I watch, which a few weeks back, I think it was, I had recommended something called, what is it, Miss Leon? The Kindness Diaries. The Kindness Diaries on Netflix. Not to add to your inspiration overwhelm, but check out The Kindness Diaries on Netflix. You might even be able to stream it on YouTube or something if you don't have Netflix. But it's a fantastic series. I think it's like a 6 or 7 part series. This guy, Leon, I won't even try to pronounce his last name. Logothetis. He's a British guy, and he travels the world on his motorbike just on the kindness of strangers. So he doesn't bring any money with him, just his backpack. Thanks, Melissa. Yeah, Melissa put it in the comments there. It's a beautiful story of how generous and kind at the core people are. And I think right now, in this day and age, when so many people are pinned against each other, politically and otherwise, it is a beautiful reminder of the inherent kindness that people have. It's amazing, the generosity. I mean, he visited some countries where people had nothing and they were offering him food, and he met up with, he went to every city he landed in, he had to ask someone if he could stay with them or find a place to sleep. And he asked this one man if he could stay with him, only to find out the man was homeless, and the man said, "You can come sleep where I sleep," and like gave him his blanket, and it's beautiful. So The Kindness Diaries, Leon Logothetis, is a great one to add to your inspiration library. But what I want to talk about is, with the amount of inspiration that there is out there, it can feel overwhelming to know, like, who do you listen to, and how do you retain it all? Like, there's just so much out there. And so when I think about this, like, I'll frame the conversation this way. Many, many years ago, when I would go to, like, seminars or in-person workshops or lectures, something like that, I would feverishly take notes as the presenter was speaking or the teacher was teaching. I would feverishly take notes for fear that I would miss some nugget that he or she shared that I know would just radically change my life. And what I've what I figured out and what I found was I was spending so much time worrying about capturing what the person was saying that I wasn't anywhere close to being present for the event itself. And so I didn't get to really enjoy the event or connect with like-minded people because it was just me and my notebook, right? Hey, Crystal. Yeah, good. So not good that you're struggling with it, but yeah, we're going to talk about how to navigate all that info. And then I thought, you know what? For shits and giggles, I'm going to go to an event and I am going to have my notebook with me, but I'm only going to jot things down that really resonate with me, that make me go, oh God, I love that, jot it down, and leave the rest. And so it's kind of like leaving the workshop or the seminar, trusting that I will take with me exactly what I need in that moment in time. You know, why write down a bunch of stuff I'm not ready for, or I've already been through, let's say. So I went there, you know, I would go to them with just the intention of, let me trust that what I need will land with me. I'll capture little tidbits here and there. And it was almost like, you know, I gave myself a challenge to not take more than a page of notes, let's say. And I was able to enjoy the event so much more. So it's like, why not just be there and enjoy it? Kathy, exactly what I had this weekend. Yeah. So like, why not just be there and enjoy it and not be so afraid that, you know, you're either not going to get your money's worth or you're not going to, you know, learn everything you wanted to learn. There has to be an element of surrender that you will take with you what you're ready for, or actually you'll take with you what you need. So that's just it, is that we often can't identify what we need. We're so concerned with grabbing as much information as we can, but it's important to remember that the information is not finite. Like, you can go back and find it someplace else, or you can take the course again, or, you know, you can ask someone else for their version of their notes. Like, there's lots of ways you can get more information, but when you overload yourself, you then just overwhelm yourself, and then you take nothing away from all the information that's out there. So it actually plays in nicely with the Hay House World Summit, right? Because if you think about that, it's like, oh my gosh, there's 100 people who were interviewed who are sharing knowledge and guidance and support and tips and all that kind of stuff over 16 days. Like, that's overwhelming. Like, oh my God, there's 100 people. But I mean, Hay House has done a really great job. When you register, you know, you get this kind of electronic booklet to help you navigate the summit and get the most out of it. So it'll give you a little description of what each talk is about, and it'll tell you the kind of category it falls in. You know, is it self-development, or is it money, or is it whatever? So it's really cool. Hey, Liz. It's really cool that it helps you to navigate such a large event. But know that, I mean, first of all, you have 16 days to listen to all the information. Not that you're going to get through 116 days, but you get to pick and choose, like, which topics really resonate with you, or which people. You know, sometimes you can just read something and go, I don't really know about that topic, but I really like that person's face, like in their headshot. Or, you know, I've heard something else from them that I really liked, so I'll check it out. You know, it gives you a whole schedule that you can pick and choose. Leave what you don't want, take what you do want. It's like that with any other kind of information, especially, you know, I think about entrepreneurs like me, right? When you're either starting your business or growing your business, there is so much information out there on how to do things, how not to do things, make sure you do it this way, don't do it that way. You have to take that information with a bit of a grain of salt. And so it's like, if someone suggests a certain way to do something, but it doesn't really feel right to you, then find someone else, you know? So, like, it's kind of the difference between if you see someone online promoting a program of theirs, and how they talk about it kind of rubs you the wrong way, or feels kind of sleazy and slimy, don't give them any more of your time if it doesn't resonate with you. Or there could be someone else who speaks about it in a very, like, kind of real and connecting way, you know, and you resonate with that more, then spend your time there. So as you're navigating the waters, of information and inspiration that's out there, you don't, like, I guess be careful to not give away your power and assume that everyone else knows better than you. Because no one knows you better than you. So thinking about what is it I need in my life right now, where in my life right now could I use some support? And, great ways are to ask like-minded friends for recommendations. Hey, I'm really feeling like I want more information about the law of attraction, or I want more information about, eating cleanly, or I want more information about whatever. Choosing some trusted people in your life, whether they're friends, whether they're people you're connected to online, any resources you have where you could ask someone for a recommendation, and the person you choose will be someone who you already resonate with, right? So it's like, I want someone who's kind of like us, there are self-improvement people out there who, and I wrote about this a little bit in my newsletter. No, I'm not naming names, but there are a couple people out there, well, more than a couple, but a couple that come to the top of my mind that are pretty big names, and people just love them, and I just can't get on board. And it's not because those people are bad, or that they're not good, or they're not authentic, or anything like that, but they're just not for me. There's one that I have tried over and over again because people think that this person is just amazing. And a lot of people I really respect and like and trust love this person. But they're just not for me. I've tried some of their stuff, I've read some of their stuff, and it's like, I don't really get what people are seeing. Again, it's not that everyone else is wrong, it's just that that person doesn't resonate with me. And that's okay. So, am I going to spend my time beating my head against the wall trying to get myself to resonate with that person? No. I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on to someone else who I resonate with. So wherever you get your inspiration from, allow yourself to pick and choose. And so I want to talk a little bit more about something I mentioned briefly, which was to be careful to not give away your power when looking for inspiration or help or support. Oftentimes people can give their power away to those of authority. And, I always use this example, like think about when you go to the doctor's office, right? It's like, hi, I'm Carrie, I'm checking in for my 3 o'clock appointment, here's my insurance card, and here's my power. It's, that's the main place we go to, that we just give our power away to the authority, because we assume that they know best. And, certainly I have learned through navigating my father's health when he was alive that doctors and nurses and specialists have a lot on their plates, and they can miss things. So it's worth being your own best advocate, whether it's for your health or elsewhere. Just like our tiny house build, right? The contractor fiasco. Yes, I could sit back and go, well, he's the expert, he knows how to build things, I shouldn't say anything. No, because it's like, when something is so routine to someone, it's easy to miss it. Kathy, the best teachers recognize when someone tries to do this and has a strong boundary for that person to keep their own power. Yeah, it's really important. Hey, Michelle, it's really important to have those kinds of boundaries. You just have to. So, you want to be careful to retain your power when you're seeking help, support, guidance, inspiration. And pay attention to what is your intention behind seeking out that support. Like, are you looking for someone to provide a quick fix, a rescue, like a silver bullet, or are you looking for someone to just provide you some additional insight, resources, and information to add to your toolbox so you can then make some decisions on your own? So it's important to look at it that way. Like, what is my intention behind seeking out some inspiration? Am I looking for help, or am I looking for a rescue? If you're looking for a rescue, that's when you're going to give away your power. So be careful to think about where that comes from, I guess is what I want to say. Like, what is your intention behind reaching out for that? And also just making sure that you're not validating any beliefs that you're not smart enough, or you're not good enough, or you don't know best. You know yourself best. So when you look at the Hay House World Summit or any place else, and you look at all of the information that's available to you, picking and choosing what works best for you. It's like, I mean, gosh, this is a perfect place to talk about like all the different ways of thinking, right? Like, let's talk about you should eat gluten-free, you should eat vegetarian, you should make sure you have meat in your diet, drink milk, don't drink milk. Like, there's so many conflicting pieces of information out there. You've got to check in with your own body and see what's best for you. Do your research, do your homework, educate yourself, and then ultimately you decide. I mean, Melissa and I joke all the time about, hey, Francesca, joke all the time about, like, eggs are bad for your cholesterol, eggs are good for your cholesterol. Like, it's just, it all depends on what information is out there. And unfortunately, as we're learning, who's got the money, right? It's always about following the money. So looking to see, you know, is it the dairy industry, or is it the sugar industry, or who is supporting these studies that are out there that are telling us to eat this, not that. So that's when you have to do your own independent research and gathering of information. Francesca, with so much information out there, it's hard to know how to do. Yeah, it really is. And that's why I think the most important thing when you're feeling inspiration overload is to check in with yourself first. I'm telling you, the wisdom you seek lies within. Sometimes we need help to highlight it, to shine a light on it, to excavate it. But ultimately, you know what's best for you. You know, if you want to go a certain direction in your life, and in your gut you know that doesn't feel like the right direction, but your head's telling you it's what you really want to do, you will continue to seek out resources until someone tells you what you want to hear. And so, you know, let's say that, you know, in your heart of hearts, you know eating ice cream every day for dinner is probably not the best for your body. But if it's something you really want to do, I guarantee you could probably find some rogue blog post or something online that tells you how great it is to eat ice cream for dinner every night. You know, we will look for it and we'll find it. But you really checking in with your gut first and going, okay, what is it that I need? What is it that, what resonates with me? So I guess that's the important piece when you're reading all the different sources of information, checking in with yourself first and going, how does that land with me? Does that feel like it really kind of fits? Yeah, someone will always tell you what you want to hear. You'll always find someone who will tell you what you want to hear. And we're very good at finding those people, or at least directing people's feedback in a certain way. People, you know, especially people in our lives who care about us, they want us to be happy, right? So it's unlikely, or it's rare, that someone's going to really challenge what you're doing if they really see that maybe it's not the best idea, because ultimately they want you to be happy. But you have to check in with your gut first. So this kind of goes back to practicing being in conversation with your gut, so that dialogue is always available. When you're like, oh God, you know, what do I want to do here? Who do I want to listen to? You'll have that access to your gut to check in with yourself and go, you know what, that doesn't feel right. So, you know, I think I've talked about this before, but to enhance or fine-tune that dialogue with your gut, practice it in small ways, like, what do I want for dinner? Pasta or fish? Or, you know, what movie do I want to see? This or that? Like, ask yourself questions, low-risk decisions, and just practice checking in with your gut. Like, I think I want that. The other really great trick I always use is the coin flip trick. If I cannot quiet the noise in my head to listen to what my gut has to tell me, I'll flip a coin. There is no faster way to get in touch with your gut than flipping a coin. So let's say, you know, do I want to see movie A or movie B? I don't know, I'm torn. I flip the coin. Okay, heads, it's movie A. Tails, it's movie B. It lands on heads for movie A, and I go, ah, shit, maybe I'll flip it again. That tells me my gut wants movie B. Or, oh, I'm so relieved, thank God it landed on heads. I get to go to movie A. A coin flip, I know it's a silly little thing, but a coin flip will really help you. Like, it's like a direct connection to your gut. So anytime you find yourself struggling with, is this person for me? Isn't this person for me? Do I like what they have to say or don't I? Do I want to take their course or don't I? Flip the coin. Flip the coin. Another great deciding factor is muscle testing. I don't know if any of you have done that. Like, if you go to like a kinesiologist or even maybe sometimes a chiropractor or a naturopath, they'll have you hold your arm out, if you can see, like by your side, right? And they will gently press on your arm, and they'll see what your body resists to and what it doesn't. And I'll tell you, it's wacky how it works, because they'll say, you know, press up against my hand, and sometimes you press and you can hold it tight, other times it bounces, and that's how that person knows what your body is really calling for. So that's a little bit of a crazier, you know, obscure way to do it. If that feels too woo-woo for you, stick with the coin flip. So feel free to share in the comments here any, like where you kind of deal with information overload or inspiration overload, and where, you know, where you struggle. Like, is there a specific area in your life that you're looking for some guidance right now, and you're inundated with, you know, maybe you've gone to website after website or watched free webinar after free webinar, and you just feel like your head's spinning, but you're not, you know, you don't feel like you're making any progress. Go ahead and throw it down in the comments section. That will be great. And I also forgot to mention at the top of the conversation, and it's never too late, if you want to share this video, that would be great. If you think this information could be helpful to people in your world, go ahead and share it. You know, likes and comments, all that kind of interaction, Facebook just gobbles right up. So please feel free to share. Would love it. You can share the live or the replay. So let me see. Thank you, Sarah, for sharing. Pamela, I always have too many projects and I don't get far with some of them. Yeah, so I wonder, you know, Pamela, if you've kind of just have too many irons in the fire, or, you know, I mean, a lot of creative types are really great out of the gate. Like, you get really excited starting a new project, but then when you're kind of in it for too long, it can either get boring, or I find actually more often than not that creative types, when they're nearing the finish line, they abandon ship. There's something about being in the middle of a project or being in pursuit of completing this project that feels much more familiar, safe, or exciting than finishing it does. So it's really common for, well, creative people and everyone to start lots of projects and not finish it. You know, you think that there's such satisfaction in finishing, but there can also be a fear of kind of like a now what when it's finished. But sounds like you've got lots of great projects going on, so I would want you to ask yourself, what stops me from finishing it? Is it that I lose interest? Is it that I don't like the feeling of something being wrapped up? I like to keep it undone, so I have the opportunity to go back and dabble back into it. So if you were to guess, Pamela, ask yourself, like, what's stopping you? Is it focus? Like, what is it? Time? Like, what is it that stops you from finishing some of those projects? Crystal, I'm finding myself watching and reading instead of actually taking action. Oh, Crystal, yes, that is a rabbit hole I think we've all gone down because there's so much out there, right? Good thing to do with that, Crystal, and I have to do this sometimes, is I'll put a time limit on my research. So I'll say, yeah, you know what, I have to look up how to, you know, do Facebook Live, whatever. So I'll set a timer. I'll do my Pomodoro technique. And for those of you who aren't familiar with it, pomodorotechnique.com. It's just a simple time management tool where you set a timer for 25 minutes, eliminate all distractions, and just handle the task at hand. So I'll tell myself, all right, I'll give myself one palm round. I call them palm rounds. One palm round to do some research on how to do a Facebook Live, let's say. And when the timer goes off, I stop. I take a 5-minute break up and away from the task at hand. And I look and I evaluate and go, okay, do I have the information I need? If yes, then I stop the research. If no, I identify specifically what it is I still need and look only for that. So setting a time limit is so helpful. I mean, there's so many shiny objects these days that you can get pulled in a million different directions. So yeah, I use a timer for lots of things. I use that technique to get started on a project that I've been procrastinating on, or to make progress on a project that I've let stall. Similar to what Pamela was saying. It's like, you know what? I don't have to finish the project. I just need to do one Pomodoro round. And because then sometimes, oftentimes once you're in it, your juices get flowing, and then you're doing it. So Pamela says, mostly time, I think, keeps me from getting things done. Yeah, all right, Pamela, then in that case, I would want you to evaluate your calendar, your commitments, how you're spending your time. I mean, I know you're in school, you've got a lot going on, but look and see how you're spending your time, and see if you can identify anything that can be wiped off your calendar. What is something that you can do less of, or change your mind on, or cancel, and if there are projects that are really important to you, sometimes you need to actually schedule them into your calendar like any other important appointment. If I'm feeling really distracted or just have a ton going on, I have to schedule things on my calendar. Or I do what's called a master list and a hot list. So I always have a running list of to-dos, things that I either want to do, have to do, need to do, might want to think about doing. Like, I just have one dumping ground where I capture it all. And then I look and see, okay, what do I really need or want to get done this week? And I pull those things off the master list. And then I have a hot list for my each day. And so I'll look and say, okay, what 3 or 4 things do I really have to get done today? And so anytime, because I don't know about any of you, but for me, I spend so much of my energy and time going, what should I be working on now? What should I be working on now? What should I be doing now? I waste so much time doing that I could be doing stuff. So if I have a list to refer to, I can just go, oh, that's right. I did that. Now I need to do this. So it takes away that whole, what do I do now? Baloney that eats up so much time. So the master list and the daily hot list really work for me. A friend of mine just recommended this other kind of planning, which is, every Sunday you dump out your mind for the week. Like, here are the things I want to get done this week. You dump that out on Sunday. And then each day you spend 15 minutes scheduling what you're going to do that day, similar to what I said, but actually putting it in your calendar, Pamela. So it really does become like any other important appointment. If we wait till we have time to pick up that project, we will always busy ourselves and never get to that project because it won't feel like a priority. Hey, Dee Dee, I'm glad you're here. Even if you're late, doesn't matter. You can watch the replay. So yeah, look at scheduling it into your calendar, especially with the other stuff you have going on in your life, Pamela. But, pick one project that you'd really love to get back to. Have it be one that really pulls you in so it ups the likelihood that you're going to do it. So I would suggest doing that. Kathy, I find that there's so much information out there that I block a lot out. However, sometimes I feel that I'm missing out on new teachers that I'm not familiar with that would really resonate. I need to trust that the right things come to me at the right time. That's it, Kathy. That is it. Because there's so many great people out there with so many great things to share. But you really do need to trust that the teacher will appear when the time is right. You will find that person, or you will seek out someone in that arena when the time is right. That's what I mean about, like, instead of spreading yourself so thin with information that doesn't even necessarily pertain to where you are on your journey right now, is spinning your wheels. So you can bookmark things, you can park things, you can make a list. There's all sorts of ways you can capture that stuff, but you don't need to jump on everything right away, because it's going to be really hard to benefit from that and retain all that information. So, yeah. You're welcome for the hot list and master list idea. Really, it helps me a lot. You're welcome, Sarah. Pamela, I've been trying to use my calendar more lately and find it's helping. Yeah, it really is. Or like reminders on your phone. Not that we need more chimings and notifications, but if you have something important that that you really want to get back to. But yeah, the calendar, I live and die by my calendar, just because I'm every day have to look and see what client calls I have, what meetings I have, etc. So it really works for me to put something in my calendar when I remember to. It really works for me to put something in my calendar just because I'm looking at it so much. I mean, there have been days, no word of a lie, that you could look at my calendar and it would literally say breakfast, a client's name, grocery shopping, laundry, client's name, write newsletter, gym. Like sometimes it can get that specific. Not often, but there have been times, believe me, when I've been so overwhelmed and I'm like, shit, if this stuff does not go in my calendar, it ain't happening. Yeah, Liz, that's why I love your Monday motivation. I can listen into great info once a week. It's doable for me. Awesome. Love that, Liz. Yeah, even that, the commitment for some of you who come regularly to the Monday nights, that's a really good commitment to yourself and to me, which I love. I love having you here. But it's important to, take this time for yourself and just, have a laid-back, chill conversation. Even though I can't hear your voices, that would be lovely. But, yeah, it's nice. Kathy, so many bookmarks, I should really clutter clear those. Well, you know how I feel about clutter, Kathy. Yeah, that can be tough. It's interesting, Kathy, because even though they're bookmarks, right, they're on the computer, you don't see them, they really are a form of clutter like anything else. So really looking at, going through those, do one palm round and go through those bookmarks, because I guarantee you'll find a ton that you've bookmarked that are no longer relevant to who you are or where you are at on your journey. And the more space you can clear, digitally or otherwise, the more available you are for the abundance of the universe right now. So let's not clutter the channels with stuff that ain't serving you now. So you got your assignment this week, at least one palm round on those bookmarks. Let's get rid of some of those. I guarantee you there is a ton there that you don't even like or that you don't resonate in. Yeah, bookmarks from years ago. Absolutely. Guarantee they don't even resonate with you anymore. Get rid of them. So, okay, good. I just want to make sure I hit everyone's comments. Yeah, I think I got everyone's. So any other thoughts or questions or anything about navigating the inspiration overload? It's a good problem in that there's so many good resources out there, but just really pick and choose. Look for resources based on where you're at right now. What specifically are you looking to make progress on, accomplish, achieve right now, and let those be your focus. Instead of because I used to do that. I used to bookmark business resources. Oh yeah, I want to do that someday, and I would bookmark it. Or I would put it on the bottom of my master to-do list. So, I do periodically review my master list, and I'm like, okay, that is either not even relevant anymore, it's not something I want to do, or it is so not in the near future, leaving it on this list is just stressing me out. So, I use a lot of resources, but so I have a business idea notebook. That's where I dump a bunch of stuff that maybe in the future I'll do something. But there was a time that I would gather so many resources for things things that I hadn't even thought of, oh, that would be kind of neat to do. I've never thought about that. I don't need to add one more thing to my plate. I got plenty I'm working on right now. I would rather spend the time looking for more, more effective and efficient ways to do what I'm currently working on instead of assigning even more stuff to myself. Yeah. Kathy, do you have a specific place you put your master and gotta-do list. Yeah, it's on my computer. So I use a website called Workflowy. Totally free, totally basic. Workflowy.com is just that's where my master list is. I write down everything and anything that comes to mind that I want to either investigate, explore, or do, or that I have to do. And so that goes onto that master list in Workflowy. And then each day, if I don't put it into my calendar, which is ultimately what I really would like to be doing, but if I don't, I'll have a little post-it note in front of me with the things that I need to get done that day. And the other thing, that friend of mine that I mentioned, the tip she gave, which I loved this, is when you look at what you are looking to accomplish this week, so let's say on Sunday, what are you looking to accomplish this week? Identifying the one thing that would be a real game changer. Like, if I got this done this week, that would be a real game changer for me and my goals, whether they're business related, personal related, or whatever. Like, I love that that idea of one big game changer, something that's doable within the week. But man, if I, like, for me this week, it's, you know, getting the rest of my website copy over to my designer, because I'm redesigning my website. That's my game changer for this week. And I know, I mean, I have a deadline too, so it's going to get done, but I know that that would be a game changer for me. So that can, and it also helps you identify what your priorities are. You know, it's a real priority for me to redesign my website, so that would be a game changer for me. Dee Dee says, sometimes inspiration ends up making me feel bad. For example, I love personal finance, but I find myself comparing myself to really high earners and feeling bad about my career and salary. How can I take the inspiration and leave the jealousy out? It's a great question, Dee Dee, a really great question. The short response I'll give, and then I'll go a little bit more into detail, is to be very careful to not compare your life to someone else's highlight reel. What people share online, what people show, it's often not the bumps and bruises, but it's the successes that they've reached after all the bumps and bruises. So it sounds like you are comparing your journey to someone's finish line. So that's the first place to go, is to be really careful about that. Then, as far as like taking the inspiration and leaving the jealousy out, I would want you to actually dig a little bit into the jealousy. What is that jealousy about? And I ask that because if the jealousy blurs into judgment at all for the people who are the really high earners, or if they're, like, if the jealousy becomes negative, you can be jealous and you can be envious of somebody, I think that's fine, but if it turns into any kind of judgment, you want to be careful, because that's real clutter that's going to stop you from hitting that same earning mark, because there's a part of you that's going to fear the same kind of judgment. So I would want you to dig in a little bit to that jealousy. You know, what is that jealousy about? Is it that they're already there and you're not, and you're kind of like frustrated, like you want to be there too? Like, is it impatience that's the jealousy? You know, what is behind the jealousy? And then you can also use the jealousy as your own inspiration, right? So if you're feeling jealous, that can be an indication for you to identify what's the very next step that you can take to move toward their level of success, if that's something that you're striving for. So when you feel the jealousy come up, that can be your kind of red flag or alert to go, oh, I'm feeling jealous. What's an action I can take right now? Right? It can be motivation to take action. So we can actually use jealousy in a really great way. So those are the two things I would suggest, Dee Dee, is to dig into the jealousy. Sorry, my hair's falling and distracting me. Dig into the jealousy, like what's behind the jealousy? What specifically are you jealous of? And if you're jealous about where they're at because you want to be there, then the jealousy can just be a prompt to get you to identify what's my very next action. So then the jealousy becomes like a good little reminder, right? Instead of this nasty thing to wrestle with. So that would be my suggestion to you. You're welcome. Awesome. Well, I don't want to keep everyone too long. We've got 8:20 here, a little after. So I just want to remind everyone, for those of you who joined late, please take a look at Melissa's pinned comment at the top of the comment box, and you'll see the registration link for the Hay House World Summit, which I'm so excited to be a part of. Again, my conversation airs on May 6th. You can register now, though, and registering early gets you access to 4 inspirational audios immediately by Wayne Dyer, Louise Hay, Kyle Gray, and a surprise one, which simply means I can't remember who the 4th one is. So check out that comment, and, you know, as always, if you found that this was helpful and you think people in your world would find it helpful, please share the replay. I would really appreciate it. And then we'll be here next week. Hey, Linz. We'll be here next week, same time, same place, where we'll dig in further into the newsletter topic. Again, if you're not subscribed to my newsletter, you just go to carrierichardson.com. Go ahead and sign up. You'll get the newsletter on Thursday, and then the following Monday, we dig in deeper to that topic. So you get some advanced notification of what the topic's going to be. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. It's really so great to see you all. Have a great week. You too, Kathy. Have a great week. You too, Sarah. Bye, Leah Marie. Bye, Mom. Bye, Shelley and Trish and Mary and Pamela and Liz. I'll be on my way to Hawaii. Oh, my God. Oh, Liz, that's awesome. Ah, thanks, Shelley. Liz, have a great time in Hawaii. Oh, I'm so jealous. It's so great. Thank you so much, everybody. Loved seeing you all here, and we'll talk next week. Take care. Bye.